Okay, it's live. Pop out the chat. I'm gonna make the chat full screen. I'll wait for people to show up. Let's see. There we go. We got some people watching. I'm just resizing the chat so I can see everybody's chat as they come in. What's up, Amy, Nick, Liza Jean, Stephen Fox, Lisa? Okay, we got a good little group watching, guys. I hope everybody had a great 4th of July. I know it's the 4th of July, so we have to celebrate it on the 4th, but I'd rather call it Independence Day and celebrate it as a 3-day weekend like we do Memorial Day, Labor Day. I'm sure everybody feels that way. It'd just be easier, right? To know you don't have to work the next day, not have to take the day off. It just makes sense. First weekend in July, done. But I get it. I get it. Now, where do I begin, guys? I get tired, man. The left wears me out. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. They wear me out. I can't even take so much as 2 days off without feeling lost. It's I think I'll wait 3 days before I make a video. Let me just take a break, unplug from politics. And then next thing I know, there's a whirlwind of new stuff going on. And I'm like, damn, it never ends. There's no break to be taken. It's a full-time job. But it's it wears me out. I get so fatigued saying the same thing over and over. And those of you who've been following me for a long time, I'm sure you're aware, I'm not just going to rush to make a video about anything oh, this headline is circulating. Let me chime in. I'm no, this is a distraction. This is timed, contrived. I just don't want to do it. There's just too many things that sound like I'm beating a dead horse. Okay, I'll give you an example. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Do you guys really need me to tell you water's wet? She's beyond stupid. It's I already ethered her that one time when I made the video about her speaking weird to black people, using that accent. So many other people take it. It's really actually sad to see so many conservatives just pile on every time she says or tweets something stupid, which is now every other day. All they're doing is inflating her ego. The woman is egotistical, narcissistic, and half of the shit she says is for shock value alone. It's why are we talking about her again? We all get it. She's dumb. She says crazy things. She's off the rocker, right? She's just a little pet project of Justice Democrats. She ran unopposed in her far blue district in New York, and that's how she came onto the mainstream, right? It's she knows her 15 minutes of fame will be up soon. So she's just out there self-promoting. She wants a book deal. She wants screen time. She wants attention. This is a true narcissist. So I just wanted to say that, there's only so much I can really say about that chick. She's just insane. And she never ceases to reach a new low. So it's the pictures at the border where she's fake crying and concentration camps this and don't sell beds, Wayfair, because migrants don't have, just stupid stuff. But then she filibusters the bill that would actually send funding to help those migrants she claims to care so much about. It's just, see, I've already spent too much time on her. But I just want you guys to know, don't expect me to cover everything she says or even 2 to 3 things she says. I might chime in here and there, but that's about it. That's all you're going to get from me as it relates to her. Now, let me talk about really quickly. This is another person that I don't ever want to spend much breath on, let alone a whole entire video. Colin Kaepernick. Okay, this guy, this is beating a dead horse. This is old news. Everybody knows who he is. I'm surprised again why people rush to jump on this, because who doesn't know who Kaepernick is? He's un-American. He was good at football when he first started in the league. He had a couple good years, started out strong. Then the league figured him out. And in order for him to stay relevant, he took a kneel, divided the country, destroyed football. Football used to just be something where you go to escape politics. And he pretty much opened Pandora's box to social justice activism. Everybody became an SJW after Kaepernick took that knee. Didn't they? Now you got male cheerleaders and all this other stuff. See, like, he ruined football for me. Half of the players ruined football for me. But I mean, come on. Is anybody shocked Kaepernick with the flag, the Betsy Hodges flag, after that same flag has been around forever? It was seen behind Obama. Nobody cared then. They just want to be outraged. That's all it is, man. There's an outrage industrial complex. People kind of romanticize their outrage. They're like, oh, mad about this. We got to protest that. There's injustice here. So I just sense it in my bones. We got to do something. It's like, you need to breathe in, breathe out, woosah, take some CBD oil, go sit on a mountain, look over the coastline, do something, calm your nerves. Stress causes cancer. Stress activates cancer cells. Anyway, leftists with the Colin Kaepernick thing, it's like, that is just a way to distract people from real issues, right? He is nothing more than a change agent. A lot of people like Kaepernick, AOC, Jussie Smollett, these are plants to divide and distract and get everybody whipped up into a frenzy. And it's really crazy to see conservatives spend so much time and energy on that guy because, I mean, he's trash. He's not in the NFL anymore. He has no power. He's just over there virtue signaling. But one thing that I'm happy about with as far as Kaepernick coming back into the scene is it reminded me of when Kaepernick first took that kneel and everybody was outraged, started boycotting the NFL, burning jerseys, yada, yada, yada. And the left was like, oh, Kaepernick's being oppressed by the NFL. Like, what about his First Amendment and blah, blah, blah. They can't do that. They can't take away his First Amendment. And the right was saying the NFL is a business and organization. They're his employer. So your employer tells you what to do, period. And if you don't like it, go get another job. That's the rules of engagement as far as that goes. But then they want to have the double standard with Facebook and Twitter, like, oh, I'm a private company. Conservatives getting banned. They can do that to private companies. So Facebook and Twitter and YouTube are private companies, but the NFL isn't. See, this is what I like to do. I like to highlight these inconsistencies in the double standards to remind people why it's all just fake, phony outrage, because people have been brainwashed by the mainstream media, fake news industrial complex, contriving stories all the time, slanting articles, making it seem like it's one way when it's actually the opposite. People fall for it. And then all people are doing, and I said this before, I'm guilty of it too, is we tend to talk about whatever's in the headlines. We never pull back and say, wait a minute, why are they bringing this up now? Why do they want to bring this up right before 4th of July? Okay, the shoes are being released. Okay, Kaepernick, well, let's talk about this. Then we can segue into something else. Oh, police brutality. Let's remind the country why Kaepernick took a knee in the first place. That's where I come in and say, wait a minute. Since we want to bring that up, let's talk about how the NFL isn't a private company to the left, but Facebook is when it's convenient to the left. So, like, just that kind of stuff. Just, let me give a shout out to the super chat real quick. I don't want to lose sight of those. Mrs. Novak said AOC isn't the real threat. Corbin Trent, Sakai, whatever. I can't pronounce that. Zachary Exley, those are the bad guys. They basically own AOC. Absolutely. Yeah, she's a puppet. She's a puppet. And everything she says and does, her handlers are controlling all of that, top to bottom. That should be known by everybody. For her to run unopposed in a district where she unseated an establishment Democrat who thought she had no shot. They're trying to astroturf more and more of these far leftists, these progressives, to try to, destabilize, disrupt. And it's working, actually. So to AOC's credit, what she's doing is working. She probably is getting a kick out of this. Like, oh, God, I got those conservatives all riled up. They're all thinking about me, talking about me. That's why she makes all these crazy statements, says all this outlandish stuff, makes claims. But then when people go to criticize her, she retreats into her intersectional identity. Like, oh, you're just a racist sexist if you want to criticize me. Ben Shapiro only wants to debate me because he's a sexist. He's catcalling me. See, this is what she's doing. She knows how to play the game. She's been coached up. So that's enough about AOC. But yeah, you know, the inconsistency with Colin Kaepernick and the whole NFL private company stuff, and these corporations make me sick, right? They all cashed in on LGBT month, right? Pride month last month. Everything was rainbow striped because all they care about is the dollars. But what changed it was they started virtue signaling about it. They went hard. It's one thing if you just want to celebrate, like, oh, hey, it's Pride Month. Let's have everything rainbow. Cool. Buy some rainbow shirts from Macy's. Nobody's mad about that. But it's when they try to grandstand and get on this corporate, like, well, we back all this causes, and you know, let's have our CEOs and all our executives, all our people, our PR team go out and make statements against children at the border being caged. Oh, Trump's caging babies, all this. Why are these corporations straying from their business model? That's why they're starting to tank, because they don't have sustainable business models anymore. It's all about corporate virtue signaling. And I think LGBT community, some of them, the conservative ones, they're starting to wake up to it. They're like, wait a minute, you're hijacking what this means so that you can line your coffers. You just want money. That's all you're doing, is just trying to cash in. You don't care about the actual movement. So they're just doing the same thing over and over and over again each month. It just gets so fatiguing, guys. It really does. And it's just all about identity politics. I'm just looking down here because I got notes and stuff. But like, I don't know. It's the identity politics when someone like AOC gets to go hide behind her identity after she says something stupid. She's like, well, I'm immune to criticism. And, you know, I've got the media that will defend me at every turn. They're caping for me. I can say anything and get away with it because I'm me, you know, I'm just a minority. It gets tiring, man. It gets tiring. But the thing is, I like to call this stuff out. So I want to mention quickly about the Portland situation. Okay. What happened with Andy? No. And I hope you guys understand why I highlighted the fact that he's LGBT, Asian, child of immigrants. Not because I care about identity politics, but because I want to make the left care. I want to make them play by their rules. They set up these rules, but they don't want to play by them. They're always trying to have it both ways. And see, when you do that, then you're pretty much holding up a mirror to them. It's like, do you care about these people or not? Do you care about immigrants? Do you care about Asians? Do you care about the gay community? Well, then why aren't you saying anything about this guy who just got assaulted by an all-white street gang? You're quiet about that. Do you care about him or don't you? See, I got to call out the fakeness. I can't stand the over-the-top, tiring fakeness. These people are so fake. Okay, now, if they were truly genuine, then, like, let's take, for example, Black Lives Matter, okay? If I were to go to a Black Lives Matter march or protest, I would hold up a sign saying, like, Black lives in the womb matter, or black on black crime matters. Let's talk about that. But see, I wouldn't fit in with them. They would kick me out. They don't like people like me. So my Black life doesn't matter. Obedient Black lives matter. Same thing with the Women's March. You see the pro-life women can't go to the Women's March. Conservative women, Christian women can't go to the Women's March. In the LGBT community, you got to see yourself as oppressed and you got to hate Trump. I don't know if you guys have been watching some of these man on the street videos. Check out Fog City Midge's latest woman on the street video during Pride Month, where she went out and talked to people. I think Will Witt from PragerU has one too. These are great videos that you can share with people on the left, your friends, your family, and just show them, like, look, this is what it's become. This is what this fringe identitarian left has become, where they ostracize and disenfranchise people who used to be down with the cause, used to be down with the movement, but now they've moved so far to the left, damn near off a cliff, that you can't even be to the right of Bernie Sanders. If you are, you can't be a part of the group. It's like this cult church that, in order to belong to it, you need to have lockstep compliance. Here's your 3x5 index card of approved opinions. If you stray from that, you're not one of us. will rake you over the coals, hang you out to dry. It's just, it gets crazier each day. What was the other thing I was going to say? See, I can't keep up with all this stuff. Okay. Now, since we're talking about the Antifa incident thing, okay. So I've heard a couple people say that there should be a law that prohibits people from covering their face in public, right? Because that's the whole thing with Antifa. They know that they can get away with crimes because they can cover their face. But if you outlaw them covering their face, then they're less likely to be violent. Now, I'm just going to say right off the bat, I don't know what the correct answer is. I know that I don't like a government solution to a problem that should be fixed with proper law enforcement at the local level, right? These cities with these mayors and police chiefs that want to look the other way and turn a blind eye to law and order, they birthed this whole movement. They're fostering this behavior. But if they crack down, then you don't have to have some law. It's just enforce the law. But you get, it's kind of like a slippery slope. Like, what are you going to do? Ban ski masks? Like, how are you going to do that? How could you actually enforce that? You're telling people they can't cover their face with a ski mask when it's cold. I know Portland's obviously not that cold where you need a ski mask or a bandana to cover your face, but that's what Antifa's doing. I don't know what the right answer is on that one. I'm leaning towards it's not a good idea to have the government make a law saying you can't cover your face in public, or at least in like a group setting. You get what I mean? Like, not like you can't walk to the store with your face covered, but like if you're at a protest or rally or something where it could escalate into violence, you need to have your face in plain sight, period. It just seems common sense to me, but I don't know. What else, man? So yeah, flag burning. This is another thing. Okay. This is where I got to tread lightly, because I know that no matter what my stance is on this, no matter what I say, people are going to be upset. I'm likely to lose followers and subscribers. Doesn't matter which side I take on this. Should flag burning be against the law? I mean, Trump actually said he thinks it should be against the law. Candace Owens actually said something similar to like, well, if you're going to burn the flag, denounce your citizenship and leave the country, tie up all your loose ends, sell your property, your assets, liquidate your whatever, and leave the country. And then let's bring in a legal immigrant to replace you. See, this is where I disagree. I disagree with that. In short, and I know people are going to have selective hearing and be like, oh my God, Mike endorses this. Listen to me carefully, okay? Because I'm about to make a disclaimer. I in no way, shape, form, or fashion condone or support people burning the American flag. Burning the American flag, I put it in the same category as calling women out a name or saying the N-word or something crazy. I put it in a box of that's despicable, right? Like, that's fine. You want to do that? Keep it away from me. But I do not think that we should create a law that says you cannot burn the American flag. Now, if you want to burn the American flag on Independence Day and a bunch of people want to surround you and criticize you, you brought that on yourself. Honestly, I don't think they should hit you. I don't agree with the violence, but what do you expect? See, it's a very, very slippery slope, because the very second that we are burning the American flag, I know that sucks. I hate it. You see the flag behind me. The very second we outlaw that, the very second America becomes less free. This is what I like to call out to the left. I say America is so damn free that you can stand on a mountaintop and scream how much you hate it. You can burn a flag. You can talk down on the American culture. You can say you hate the country. You can say whatever you want about America, because America's that free. Now, is it free to a fault? See, some might argue that, like, well, then they could start their own little movement to try to tear down America. Well, this is why I tell the left, I'm like, you couldn't go to any other country and espouse the kind of hate for the country that you can here. That's how free it is. Try going to China and talking about how you don't like their authoritarian model. Go to the Middle East. Go to any country in the Middle East and talk about how much you don't like that country. Man, they'll throw you in jail, cut your tongue out your mouth. Something crazy will happen to you in some of these countries. We take freedom for granted here. With that said, people have the right to do that. You know, if you were to outlaw burning the flag, then you're talking about, okay, you're infringing on property rights. You're telling them they can't do what they want with it. They could write on there. They can draw on there. They could cut it up and turn it into clothes. They can do whatever they want. It's their property. And it's like demonstrations, anti-American demonstrations on the 4th of July are nothing new. They're just under a microscope now because Trump is president, just like everything else is going on. It's all just because this man is president. Nobody actually cares. And it's like, yeah, I want to know what you guys say, what you guys think. Like, should we have a law in the books that says you can't burn the American flag? I think it's an interesting topic to discuss. Again, I don't agree with burning the flag. It pisses me off. I hate it. It's people taking their own freedom for granted. They hate the country so much, but yet they refuse to leave it. But the very second you outlaw that, then that's like a domino falling. That is when the First Amendment really starts to erode. Because where will they stop? Where will they stop? And you're telling me you're going to jail somebody for it? Like, what will be the penalty? So the Fed should be where all of our focus should be. All else is just division. I agree. I think the states need to have more rights, way more rights. The federal government has gotten so big. The left only wants to grow it more. It's just, they got to do something because the federal government, the overreach is just, it's crazy. You got Joe Biden today, or maybe yesterday, talking about if he's elected, he's bringing back the individual mandate of Obamacare. It's like, no, don't do that. I got a bad taste in my mouth from that because I had a little, like I'd say like 3-4 month gap in employment back in, it was like 2013, 2014. And up until that point, I always had health insurance through my job, but I quit and I was looking for another job. There was a bunch of things going on in my life at that time. Anyway, this was right before the end of the year. So tax season came up and it was like, the question came up, were you covered throughout the whole year? I'm like, well, not the whole year. Long story short, I got hit with a penalty, a tax penalty for healthcare that I didn't have. Benefit from that. It's like, okay, I'm paying you this. Does that mean you're going to give me healthcare now? Since you're saying you're going to penalize me for not having healthcare, I guess that means healthcare was going to be shitty healthcare anyway. So Joe Biden wants to bring that back. If he's just riding the legacy of Obama. He's riding the coattails of Obama. I'm going to re-implement all of Obama's promises and his policies. We're going to go back to the days when Obama was in charge because he has no platform. He can't stand on his own. Sleepy, creepy Joe, Jim Crow Joe. Wow, your chats are kind of delayed. Flag burning isn't a right, just like make a threat. I don't know. But you're saying, Nicholas, you're saying flag burning is not a right. I need more of an explanation on that. See, I told you this is going to be a slippery slope. No matter what side I took, people are going to be upset. But I also see how crazy politicians are. If you're going to say politicians should decide what's legal and not legal for us to say and do, then you're endorsing the government, the federal government, saying we should throw a person in jail. Do you think someone should be jailed for that? No, maybe they should be watched. Maybe they should, people should know about them. Like, hey, look, this person's super anti-American. Maybe they're planning something crazy. Maybe they just wanted attention. Just some crazy stuff, man. If it's not a right, then how says who? Joey says open burn illegal. You don't be like the left. Speaking of authority, what I wrote it down. Frederica Wilson. Okay, she's a congresswoman in Florida. This crazy lady talking about we need to prosecute anybody that makes fun of members of Congress. You do not have a right to make fun and ridicule members of Congress. That's what I'm talking about right there. That woman putting politicians on a pedestal. Like, who the hell are you? I'm going to make fun of whoever I want to make fun of because it's my right to do that. I can say and do whatever I want as long as I'm not treading on somebody else. As long as I'm not calling for violence or, I'm not threatening somebody else. I can say anything I want to say. Anybody who's truly principled would agree with that. But the fact that this politician saying we're going to work with whoever we got to work with to ban the people who are speaking out against us and criticizing politicians. This woman's like 76 years old. I'd never heard of her before. She runs a district down in Miami, which I'm sure is a raging shithole. I wouldn't be surprised. She's probably a poverty pimp. I wouldn't doubt it. She's saying crazy stuff. This is what I'm talking about. This elitist, authoritarian politicians, celebrities, athletes, entertainers, people who think that they know what's best. This is full-blown narcissism. Talking about we can't say what we want. And she's really targeting people who are her political opponents. And it's probably in response to people who criticize AOC, criticize Nancy Pelosi or anybody else on the left, Ilhan Omar, people who deserve criticism. She's saying, you can't criticize us. We're politicians. We're better than you. We make the rules. Like AOC said, we're in charge. Joey said buffering. I hope not. I get tired of this, man. Can you guys tell me if it's buffering or not? I don't know. I can't. The chats are coming in so slow. Let me see. DM said you're blurry and buffering. I don't know what to tell you guys. My internet's been acting up like crazy. Some people are saying I see you fine. It's okay now. Toaster vision here. Good on my end. Good voice. No buffering. Maybe it's your internet. I think my internet's pretty strong. I mean, it has been acting up the past like week or so because the storms have just been crazy. Refresh worked. Okay, good. Joey, you got to check your internet, man. I don't know. You're blurry, but we know what you look like. See, this sucks, man. I hate this. I really do. I got to get on the internet company. Maybe it's YouTube. Maybe it's because I dropped too much truth. Maybe. I don't know. Still blurry, still buffering. Are you serious? Restart this. Back up, bro. You're not that blurry. Okay. I guess I'm going to restart it. I guess I'll restart it because if most people are saying it's blurry, man, let me restart this.